We spend so much of our lives trying to earn money. We study, we work, we hustle, all to make more of it. But no one really teaches us the most important part, how to spend it wisely. That's what Morgan Housel, the author of The Psychology of Money, talks about in his new book, The Art of Spending Money. It's not a book about budgets or investments, it's a book about choices, about how the way you spend can quietly shape your happiness, your freedom, and your life. So, today I want to share 10 beautiful lessons from it, explained in simple stories and examples as if I'm telling you this over a quiet evening walk. So, the lesson number one, every dollar tells a story. Let me tell you about two friends, Ethan and Noah. Both of them earn the same salary. Ethan spends his weekends buying designer sneakers and expensive gadgets. Noah spends his money on books, learning new skills, and sometimes just taking his mom out for dinner. A few years later, Ethan's wardrobe is full, but he feels empty inside. Noah, on the other hand, has fewer things but a life full of memories, skills, and love. Morgan Housel says every dollar you spend is a story about what you value. When you look at your bank statement, you are not just seeing expenses, you are seeing your priorities. So spend in a way that tells a story you will be proud of. Lesson number two, there is no perfect formula. You might have heard people say spend 50% of your income on needs, 30% on your wants, and 20% on savings, right? But here's the truth, money isn't math, according to the author, but this principle very valid. Okay, so now move on to the author's perspective. It's emotion. According to author Morgan Housel, you don't have to spend money as a math, you have to see money and spend money as an emotion, because after all, we are all human beings and we are getting targeted by stories, right? The stories they are telling in the marketing. So let me give you an example. Sophie is a painter. For her, spending $300 on art supplies feels like joy. But Ben, her friend, thinks that a waste and would rather open that money on a gaming console. Well, who do you think? Who is right? Well, the answer is both, because there is no perfect formula for everyone. We all have different values, different stories, and different definitions of what enough means. The real art is spending in a way that makes you feel alive, not others. So, lesson number three, define enough. Have you ever noticed how people always want more? A bigger house, a better car, a newer phone, and yet they never seem satisfied. Oliver, a successful lawyer from London, once said, when I earned my first £50,000, I dreamed of £100,000. When I got that, I dreamed of £200,000. And now I'm just tired. Well, Morgan Housel writes on this, if you don't have what enough means for you, you'll never have peace, no matter how rich you become in financially. Enough doesn't mean stopping ambition. It means knowing where happiness ends and greed begins. Maybe enough for you is time with your family. Maybe it's creative freedom. Or maybe it's simply peace of mind. Whatever it is, define it before it defines you. Lesson number four, buy time, not things. Let me tell you about Grace. She worked 12-hour days at a finance firm in New York. Her paycheck was very huge, but her soul was very tired. One day, she quit and started consulting part time from home. Her income dropped, but suddenly she could cook breakfast, read in the morning sun, and take evening walks with her dog. She once told me, I used to think money was about luxury. Now I think it's about time. Morgan says you can always earn more money, but you can never earn back time. So when you spend, ask, is this buying me freedom or is it costing me it? Lesson number five, avoid lifestyle inflation. This one is very dangerous and very common. When you earn more, you automatically want to spend more. You upgrade your car, your apartment, your wardrobe, and before you know it, your happiness stays exactly the same. That's lifestyle inflation. Meet Daniel, a software engineer, used to earn $40,000 a year. He was content, then he started earning $120,000. But now he feels broke again because he replaced joy with comparison. Morgan warns that every upgrade secretly upgrades your expectations. So instead of inflating your lifestyle, inflate your gratitude. The things you once dreamed of, you already have them. So don't forget that. Be grateful. Lesson number 6. Spend to build options. Imagine money as a key. Every smart spending decision gives you one more key, one more option. Let me give you an example of Eva. Eva saves and spends mindfully. Because of that, she can take a year off to travel, switch careers, or even say no to a toxic job. That's freedom. That's what real wealth looks like. Now, Morgan says the highest dividend money pays is control over your time. So, spend not to impress, but to gain control. The more choices you have in life, the richer you truly are. Lesson 7. Understand the psychology of spending. Most of our spending mistakes aren't about logic, they are about emotion. Exactly, emotions are the biggest things in human nature, and people use it everywhere. Have you seen this in advertisements that people use your emotion? People use stories in their advertisements to sell you emotion. Like Apple is selling you luxury, right? And Starbucks selling you feeling that there is a third place between your home and office where you can work from. And there are many more stuffs that you can go for it. So most of our spending makes aren't about logic, they are about emotion. Yeah, we get that. When people feel sad, they shop. When they feel insecure, they upgrade. When they feel lonely, they buy things to feel better, even if it's temporary. Meet Liam, a young architect. He told me he once bought a $2,000 designer watch just to feel successful. But do you know what? A week later, he felt exactly the same as before, except now he was in debt. Morgan writes, people don't really want to be rich, they want to feel rich. And that feeling has nothing to do with money. Spend to create memories, not to cover emotions. If you have money, I have an advice for you. Go to fulfill your bucket list. That is the best thing that you can do with money. Lesson 8. Lesson 8 is want what's worth wanting. This might be the deepest lesson of all, and this is my favorite. We often chase what the world tells us to want. The car, the house, the status, the followers. But when we finally get them, we realize it didn't bring the peace we expected. Emma, a doctor in Manchester, once said, I spent years chasing prestige, now I just want to spend on peace. A weekend with my husband, a hike, a quiet morning. Morgan says, a good life is not about getting what you want, but wanting what's worth wanting. When your wants are aligned with your soul, money becomes your ally, not your master. And this way, money can't control you. And if money can't control you, it means you have mastered your emotions. Your emotions are in your control. Lesson number 9. Spend on relationships, health, and growth. The happiest people Morgan studied had one thing in common. They used money to connect, not to compete. Let me tell you a story of a Jack. He's a teacher. Once saved for months just to take his aging parents on vacation. He said it was the best money he ever spent because that memory outlived every gadget he ever bought. Spend on your health, your relationships, and your growth because those are the investments that compound forever, and you will be very grateful while rewinding the memories in your old age with your partner. And finally, the lesson 10. Money is a mirror. Remember this, money doesn't change who you are, it reveals who you already were. If you are kind, money amplifies that kindness. If you are insecure, money amplifies that too. So before learning how to spend better, learn who you are becoming, because your spending habits doesn't just show your taste, they show your truth. So next time you pull out your wallet or click buy now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this spending buying me joy or just noise? Because money isn't just a number, it's a reflection of your mind, your peace, and your purpose. Spend wisely, live richly. If this message connected with you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs this perspective, and subscribe for more wisdom like this, only on The Right Book. Stay curious and keep learning.